Hello everyone and welcome back for part 2 of my two-wheel driving Cape York adventure. So basically, if you haven't seen part 1 yet, jump over and watch that because it explains all the roads and all what I've basically driven through getting up here, and of course at the end, actual tip of Cape York. But if you're joining me for part 2 and you wanted to see the return down Cape York, I'm about to head to Somerset. So jump in the 4wding with me and fingers crossed there won't be any water crossings so I can get straight over there. Okay, so if you guys are just jumping on board the Cape York adventure with me, right now I'm headed back from the very tip top of Cape York and I'm about to head out to Somerset. Now I haven't been there before, I don't even know if I can get there, but this has been an absolute adventure so far and I've been really pushing the little car through all the corrugations and all the rough road up here, but she's handled really well. So basically in this video I just want to explore a few different spots in the Cape since I have the time to do so, and it'll basically just be a return journey with my little car from the very top of Cape York just back down to Lakeland where I started my Cape York adventure basically. Now obviously I have been exploring further down parts of Cape York around the Daintree and other areas, Cooktown, places like that. I did go out to Weeper and Bapoon in my first video if you watched that with me, but definitely a few more spots I want to check out on the way home, and of course I will just give you guys at the end a report on how my car does, because I know being a part of the Cape York group chats on Facebook and different bits and pieces, there has been a few people asking whether you can two-wheel drive the Cape. So obviously if you watched my first video, up until the very last water crossing, it is very doable. Now of course it is up to you if you decide to do that with your own vehicle. You probably know your own car best or better than anyone else, but I had an incredible time doing it. Obviously super disappointed I couldn't make those last couple Ks with my car, but of course I still made it to the Cape and it just didn't do the damage essentially that it would have by putting it through that water. I mean, maybe I could have made it, but maybe not, and I have a long way still to go. So I don't know, check that one out if you haven't already, but otherwise come join me for Somerset and the adventure back home. So I'm just trying to make my way down to the Somerset campground at the moment. I think this is the road there, I really don't know, there's no signs or anything, no reception out here, but I'm thinking potentially camp here tonight. It's a really cool little beach campground that's free, but as I said, I haven't been here, so I'll come down and check it out for sure. Alrighty, so I've just arrived down at Somerset Beach. It looks beautiful and the road in here is really good. So easy access in here, no water crossings. I've just parked up by the beach, basically looking out at the water. But I think I'm gonna go for a walk from here. I'm not sure. Beautiful. I'm still traveling with my friend Matt at the moment, who's the guy from Cooktown. From video 1, if you watched that already, you will know that we've been traveling separately but meeting up at different points. Nice to have a little travel buddy. So we're about to go for a walk down the beach because it's low tide at the moment, and we're going to go look for some cave paintings apparently that you can find on the rock down the beach. So it's supposed to be about a 20-minute walk. Don't know, I'm kind of keen to get there and get back because Crocs obviously at high tide. So I don't know, we'll go check it out and see if I can find these paintings and just see what else is around. Oh, I'm sorry, little corals. Such a cool little spot. So this is the rock art just down from the beach. It's literally only like a 10-minute walk. Super easy, but wear shoes over the rocks. And it's really cool. It's really easy to actually see. And there is a fair bit still marked in the cave here. So a really cool little spot. Definitely well worth a walk down the beach if you're here. And then a beautiful ocean view behind you as well. Okay, so I did end up staying last night at Somerset. It was a really peaceful, beautiful spot by the water, and I just could not get enough of those turtles. They're absolutely beautiful. But also did end up going for a drive out to Fly Point just for sunset. You couldn't actually see the sunset from there because it's back on like the east side basically of the tip, but really beautiful little spot for that time of night. You can see right down between the mainland and one of the islands, so super cute little spot as well. So the rock art was really cool, but we've just come for a drive up to the very last headland. I probably could have got my car into here, but it's just easier in a 4-wheel drive, let's put it that way. But it's super windy, but beautiful spot for sunset. You do have the colours. Of course, you can't see the sun actually set over the water because I'm on the wrong side of this last headland, but absolutely beautiful, super windy, but otherwise gorgeous. So I think tonight I am going to camp just back at the beach there instead of going back to Loyalty Beach, I think, which will be nice, and then probably cruise through in the morning. Now, while I do have the opportunity as well to jump in a 4-wheel drive, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of the 5 Beaches 4-wheel drive track. Obviously, I did get a lift here because it's pretty bad, but I'll jump into that for you anyway. It's pretty sandy. It looks so funny right on the ocean. That's really sweet. Yeah, I don't know where those other guys would have got bogged down.
Oh, we get big up here?
Surely there's an exit on the other side.
I don't think so. You go, but that's pretty rough.
Now, obviously, I thought this was a really beautiful little spot, and I was very lucky to have the opportunity to do it. So essentially, the drive just follows along 5 beaches, literally from Fly Point south along the coast, and it's definitely 4-wheel drive track. So you can probably fish there, spot turtles, all that sort of thing, basically everything except swim. But it is pretty sandy, and there are some pretty decent rocks you have to drive over. So definitely not a 2-wheel drive activity, but if for some reason you did want to get a 2-wheel drive in there, there is actually an access point to the lower section of the loop. Basically, I'll find out what the point is called for you, but you can 2-wheel drive into there and have a look over the coast if, say, you had a 2-wheel drive and can't get access to the 4-wheel drive section. Now, from the 5 Beaches Drive, you can head over to Lake Witchera. I'm not exactly sure if that's how you say it, but again, it's a pretty soft sandy track and pretty tight for a bigger 4-wheel drive, but really pretty and worth walking around. Obviously, again, just no swimming here. That is crazy, just a lake in the middle of nowhere. Now obviously there is lots to do up here aside from just the tip. So you've got Loyalty, Pun Sand, Seashore, Somerset with the old graves, you've got the abandoned well there, all sorts of stuff. So just at the southern side of Somerset Beach, if you walk through the mangrove track, there is actually an old well that you can find. So this is the opposite end of the beach basically to where I was watching for turtles this morning, but old well. There is also another old grave down this track, and there's supposed to be a windmill in here somewhere, but a few old interesting ruins that you can definitely come and check out for yourselves. So obviously I am moving through them pretty quickly, but the next spot I want to tell you about that I thought might be interesting to check out is actually the Bamaga plane wrecks. So basically if you jump over to the croc tent on your way up to the tip, go and ask the girls for a free tourist map, and it will give you basically like a little A4 map of a very tip area and show you where these plane wrecks are and a few other cool little locations in the tip. Seriously, these girls are so beautiful. If you go in and talk to them, they helped me so much getting around the tip. They were honestly lifesavers up here. But grab one of those maps and it will take you out to the plane wrecks or show you where to go to get there. Anyway, these plane wrecks, there's about 4 of them and an old oil dump. So I had planned on driving out there, but basically I was down at the Seashore jetty and I ended up running into some more mates that I'd met on the road and basically just got a lift with them. So the first plane wreck, the one closest to Bamaga, is definitely 2-wheel drive accessible. It's closest to town, super easy to drive in there and check it out. There's a fair bit of the plane left. The one towards the oil dump and the old wreck out there, probably getting a little bit more 4-wheel drivey, but still really cool to check out, and it worked out really well that I actually managed to get myself that lift and get out there. Now the plan for me, guys, is to head off and camp out at Loyalty Beach and then Allow Beach. I think that's what it's called. Allow is absolutely beautiful, so I'm pretty keen on that one. And then basically try and get on a boat and get out to see some more of the Torres Strait area.